Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Spirit of Justice. Previously, we had an audience with none other than the Queen of Khura'in, Khura'in. Don't know her full name yet, but it's probably a groan-worthy pun. But that was cut short, and we instead chatted with Inga Karkul Khura'in, the King. Yeah, turns out he's more than just the Minister of Defense or what have you. Also, he's a butt-face. I don't like him. Anywho, the trial began and we got to the divination seance right off the bat, and it's not looking good. Now it's up to us to solve things and buy a bit of time for Maya. So let's begin, shall we? The victim commenced the purification rite by bowing to the lanterns and reading a sutra. As the first part, the transformation rite ended, he lowered the sutra. Suddenly, he heard the accused's approaching footsteps and smelled her incense-laden robes. It was then that the victim felt an intense pain. I believe this is when he was stabbed. I don't know, man. That statue of the warbad bird right behind him looked really sharp. I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up being impaled on it somehow. As his life's blood spilled over, his vision dimmed, till finally he passed from our world. That is everything the victim experienced in his final moments. Dressed in the sacred robes of Lady Kira, the accused rushed the victim head-on. The brutal stabbing she perpetrated could not have been any clearer. Yes, it is plain for all to see. No, it wasn't me. A sudden drowsiness came over me during the transformation rite. I didn't even get a chance to put on Lady Kira's robes. You waste our time with such meaningless statements, accused. You cannot explain away the truths revealed by the royal priestess's divine insight. Oh. How did you end up finding contradictions last time? The deceased's final memories include all 5 senses. Oh! You mean those words that appeared in the pool of souls? It looked to me like the bigger the word, the stronger the sensation was to the victim. Yeah, that's how it looked to me too. Okay, a smell stronger than a noise? I'll admit I'm out of my element because I actually completely lack the sense of smell, but... Really? A smell more powerful to your senses than a noise? Really? Is that really a thing? Sounds weird. The sensations themselves are never wrong, only their interpretations. That's why I tried to point out mistakes in Rafa's insights the last time. So there could be contradictions between what Abbot Inmi felt and her insights, huh? You got it. I'm going to find them this time, too. Should I check how to point out contradictions in Rafa's insights? Yeah, remind me. It's a new feature and it's been a while. I can switch between insights with the left stick, while I look for inconsistencies between them and the sensations in the vision. Seance visions can be paused with A. I can even jump to different points in the seance vision using B and X. When I see an insight that doesn't seem right, I should select Y. Select it, yeah. Then all I have to do is point out the sensation that contradicts with the insight. The sensations this time seem to fluctuate more than the ones from Alby's trial. In which case, I better keep an eye on changes in their intensity too. Noted. Okay, the victim commenced the purification rite by bowing to the lanterns and reading a sutra. This seems correct. As the first part, the transformation rite, ended, he lowered the sutra. Uh-huh. Not hearing any noises. Heard the wind. Saw that. Sharp dagger. The wind stopped the moment he got stabbed. Ooh. Hold on, I want to see that again. Oh. No, okay, the footsteps was green just like the wind. No, there's no wind. Yeah, I was about to say, if the wind stopped, maybe that was the sound of the parachuter dropping from above and stabbing him, but maybe not. I don't know, look at the motion of this figure, man. It's like... Oh, hold on. You know, I have an idea. Let's look at, Dude, okay. Yeah, I think at some point while reading... Yeah. Okay, when he was reading the sutras, he turned around. He did a 180. When he put it down, he was facing the statue. It was covered with the, It was covered with the cloak. With the Kira cloak and mask. And he got impaled on that uppermost plume coming out of the warbad's neck. I think he was impaled on that statue. Brutal. But, that also raises the question, how? Because I could see if I tried to make that be the case, then the prosecution would be like, okay, so Maya just pushed him onto the spike of that warbad bird. Alright. Well, setting aside any theories, I need to find a contradiction here. Okay, let's resume. He lowered the sutra. Suddenly, heard the accused approaching footsteps and smelled her incense-laden robes. It was then that the victim felt an intense pain. I believe this is when he was stabbed. As his life's blood spilled over, his vision dimmed till finally he passed from our world. Okay, this is tricky. So, commenced the rite by bowing to the lanterns and reading the sutra. Let's double check. Is that the correct thing? Okay. The high priest reads scripture while a priestess dons the robes of Lady Kira. There's nothing about bowing to the torches. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it begins with the transformation rite. The high priest reads scripture while a priestess dons the robes. Why would he bow? Okay, let's remember that. Uh-huh. So he definitely saw and heard the wind blow into that broken lamp. The glass is definitely shattered at this point. The flame is moving. I can see it, yeah. Right. This is a bad point. Now that I think about it, yeah, the orientation of this line of sight does not match up with the statue theory I just posited. No, that should be where Maya was standing, this figure. That is bad news. Alright. Smelled incense and heard footsteps. That, I believe. Everything in the back half of this testimony is... I can't argue against it, at least not yet. So you know what? Yeah, I think... I think this is a discrepancy with the evidence. But then again, the game just went to such great lengths to stress that, hey, you dingus, pay attention to the size of the... To the size of the words, the senses, Let's watch this once more. This is tricky. Maybe it's just because it's such a new gameplay concept, but yeah, I'm hesitant to try anything here. Okay, loud wind. Suddenly starting footsteps. You know what? Hold on. Okay, yeah, pay attention here. The incense is growing larger, like the sense is coming more into focus, it's getting more apparent. But the footsteps, meanwhile, those footstep sounds are not drawing closer. It's not getting louder or quieter, the footsteps are consistent. Interesting, okay. Let's see if we can do that. He heard the accused approaching footsteps and smelled her incense-laden robes. Dude, okay. I think this might be it. Approaching footsteps. I don't think these are approaching. I want to go with this. If this doesn't work, we can try the first thing.
Objection!
Right, no, I can't. I can't submit evidence to this. The victim supposedly heard the accused approaching footsteps. But did he really? What nonsense is this? Is it not abundantly clear? No, it's not. Because there is something strange about those footsteps. Strange? Explain yourself, Barbed Head. The footsteps are strange because they don't get louder. They're not getting any louder. And why exactly does that matter? Please focus your attention on the incense the victim smelled. The scent grows stronger as the accused approaches. If the accused really had approached the victim, the sound of her footsteps would have grown louder as the scent of incense grew stronger. Ah!
Why, that makes perfect sense. How can this be explained, Your Benevolence?
Well, there must be a reason.
Objection!
It is as they say. Even a putrid worm of a lawyer will turn. What does that even mean? He's not exactly singing your praises, that's for sure. Still, we cannot discount this information solely on account of its lawyerly source. Your benevolence. Perhaps you must listen more carefully to the abbot's mitama. Listen more carefully? What's he talking about?
Yes, it would appear so. I shall try to refine the sensation.
Enhance! Refine the sensation?
I can more accurately gauge sensations by deepening my communication with mitama.
I didn't know you could do that. Why have we never done this before? By refining a sensation, a clearer picture of the truth can be discovered.
Oh, blessed mitama, I beseech you, hear me now and respond to my call.
The sound heard was bells.
Footsteps changed into bells. What could this mean?
How the... Oh! I get it. I get it completely. All right. So yeah, my immediate question was, how does one mistake bell chimes for footsteps? But then it clicked. Abbot Inmi, the victim, he himself wears bells around his ankles. His brain associates the ringing of bells with footsteps. It's a correlation in his own mind. It's his perception, after all. So what he heard was bells around an ankle. A pair of ankles, rather. All right. Okay. Bells, but the only bells at the scene of the crime were...
Ah, that jingling must have come from Abbot Inmi's bells.
You mean those big things he had on his ankles? Well, there you have it. The sound of bells was from the high priest's own footsteps.
Then that means...
If the footsteps belonged to the victim himself, it means it was the victim who was moving, not the accused. The victim was the one who went running toward the broken lantern from the spring. A far cry from what her benevolence insight would have us believe. Okay, well... Shoot, one of his senses was touch, so... We didn't exactly see anything about, like, him being shoved, so... The hell gives?
But why would the victim have approached the accused?
Maybe he was trying to defend himself.
Please explain.
He could have felt threatened by Lady Kira standing there with a dagger. If so, he might have thought to overpower her before she attacked.
Still your voices. This is nothing but a theory, and a poor one at that. Be not led astray by this lawyer's obvious postulation.
Objection!
Oh. While his insolence is inexcusable, I would ask that you calm yourself, your benevolence.
Is there something you would care to say, Prosecutor Sadmati?
Even if it was Abbot Inmi who moved, it does not negate the accused's crime. What do you mean? The accused was likely waiting for the high priest to approach.
Oh!
And as he neared, she plunged the dagger into him. It is as simple as that. Oh, right. It really doesn't change much, does it?
Yes, it is as the prosecutor has said. In fact, it is as I meant to say all along as well.
Right. And that's why you were so shocked when you first heard it.
Understand now, lawyer. That contradiction you conjured up has come to naught. Once I hone my insights, it will vanish like the dying rays of the sun.
You rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the broken lantern.
See? The fact that it was Abbott in me who moved changes nothing.
Come on, Phoenix, you gotta keep your cool. That contradiction I pointed out must mean something. That one sensation changed after Princess Rafa refined her vision. It stands to reason that something else might have changed too because of the refinement. I should focus on any sensations that have changed, while searching for more contradictions between them and her insights. Okay, take this from the top, I suppose. He lowered the sutra. Suddenly... Wind. You're she accused and tried to fight her off by the broken lantern. Water. Oh! He heard the splashing of water as he approached.
What the hell? Now I'm back to thinking he's rushing north towards the Warbad statue. What the hell?
Okay. Then how do you possibly explain the broken lantern's orientation? Like, hold on. Okay, so he lowers this. Wind blows that. Going by the new orientation, if he felt water, or heard water splashing as he rushed towards it, that one should be the top right lantern then. But the broken one is... Okay, you know what? This would make a lot more sense if it was possible to move the lanterns around. They look heavy as hell, but it might be possible. Oh shit, okay. Interesting, okay. Well, I'm pretty sure I know what we're doing here.
Objection!
Hold it! How do we know the purification rite was performed exactly as it was supposed to be?
That's easy. The customs governing the rite are very clear, and Abbott in me would have adhered to them.
Well, that's strange.
Mr. Wright, would you care to explain just what is so strange?
Yes, I would ask you to consider the sound of the victim's footsteps. The sound of bells changes to the sound of water at one point.
What's this?
It's simple. The victim must have stepped in some water. Oh. Yes, and the only source of water in the inner sanctum is the spring. And therein lies the contradiction.
Well, what contradiction?
I believe the rite started out as it should have. The victim stood with his back to the spring and the accused stood right in front of him. But we now know that the victim then moved into the spring.
Pakonka, that is absurd.
This means the accused's location differs from what her benevolence's insight indicates.
Then where do you propose the accused stood once she donned Lady Kira's robes?
Based on the sound of the victim's footsteps, I believe Maya was standing here. Oop.
Take that!
Do you really believe the accused was standing there?
Not when you say it that way, Your Majesty. Huh?
Keep making sloppy statements like that, Mr. Wright, and I'll have your tongue.
Please, anything but the chop.
Then let's have an actual answer out of you. Where do you believe the accused was actually standing?
Fine.
Take that!
Damn it.
Until the...
Whoa. That's rare. I usually don't mess up that voice. Until this moment, we've all just assumed that Abbot Inmee and Miss Fey were standing where they were supposed to be, as shown in this Wright's guide. In short, the victim should have been standing with his back to the spring and the accused in front. However, if that is how they were really standing, he couldn't have stepped into the spring as he approached her. The problem is, the victim did step into the spring. This can only mean that Miss Fey had actually been standing in the water.
But if this is true, then their positions would have been completely reversed.
Ah.
Well, what is going on here, Miss Fey? Were you really standing in the spring?
I'm sorry, but I barely remember anything about the rite.
The High Priest would never make such an obvious blunder during a rite.
What on earth? Is that even possible? Be that as it may, this does not overturn my insights.
It doesn't?
Let us say the accused was standing in the spring. So what?
So what? This completely reverses their positions is what?
That their positions differed from what is customary is rather curious. However, what does that change? It certainly does not erase the accused's brutal crime.
I guess you have a point there.
You lawyers are an absurd breed. Never thinking ahead, you cling to the first insignificant contradiction you can muster.
Irk.
Sounds like Princess Rafa has a pretty good grasp on what lawyers are all about.
Oh, Maya. Where would I be without your brutally frank commentary right now? Is this contradiction really meaningless? But something really doesn't feel right. Did I take a wrong turn somewhere?
I will now amend my insight to account for this new truth.
He rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the poolside lantern.
Now the contradiction is no more. But the truth of the matter still stands, no matter how stubbornly you deny it.
What do you have to say for yourself now, Mr. Wright?
Ugh.
Nick!
Your Majesty, this lawyer may have raised a trivial objection. But her benevolence, his insights have no further inadequacies of any kind.
Yes, so it would seem.
Wait a second, but there is another contradiction. Still you flounder about, wretched beast. Though you rack that putrid brain of yours, nothing worthwhile will come of it. Maya, please tell me you remember something that might help us out here.
Sorry, I really don't remember a thing. But now that the place I was standing in has changed, who knows? That alone may cause a new discrepancy with Princess Rafa's insights.
That's right. We now know that Maya was standing in the spring. A major change like that could very well produce a contradiction. I should take another look at the inner sanctum diagram in the court record, and confirm where Maya and Abbot Inmee were standing, and then focus on finding any discrepancies between the positions and the insights. Yeah, I think this is when I point out the broken statue. Okay. I do like that the visuals never change. It's just the sensations, the words on the screen. Oh. Well, let's go to full once over, just to be sure. No, nothing brand new. Okay, I guess we're going in circles, but I guess this is to our advantage. Yeah, I think this is it.
Objection!
Your benevolence. I found a new contradiction.
You did? Huh. No doubt it is but another of your vile attempts to slander my insights.
Nope. Take a good look at what the victim saw. It just might change your mind. The lantern flame behind the accused was flickering.
There is nothing unusual about that, especially as the wind had stirred.
No, that's where you're wrong. If the accused had been standing in the spring, then what you see here should be one of the lanterns flanking the statue.
I fail to see your point.
My point is, something is wrong here. The two lanterns flanking the statue were both outfitted with glass wind guards. So neither lantern's flame should have been flickering in the wind in the first place.
She seems pretty tickled, Nick.
I don't remember saying anything funny.
I fail to see what you wish to prove here, but very well. I shall refine the vision and reveal the truth for all to see. O blessed Matama, I beseech you, fix your sight upon the lantern there.
Enhance. Huh? That lantern doesn't have a wind guard on it. Yeah, it's not broken, it just doesn't have glass. What? What?
And rightly so. For the wind guard was removed to reveal the sacred flame within for the rite of fire.
Ah, okay, let's pour the books. Pour over the books. The ceremony ends with a rite of fire in which the priestess circles the sacred flames to purify her soul. That doesn't mention anything about needing the flame exposed, so what gives?
Therefore, there is nothing odd about the flame flickering.
Say what? But when we searched the crime scene, those lanterns had their wind guards on. That's because the police put them back on. The sacred flames have burned uninterrupted for hundreds of years, Defense. We could not risk them being extinguished, even during an investigation. That would never fly back home.
Well, Barbed Head, are you done quibbling? If so, then it is time to bow down before this testimony of the Matama. Nick!
Don't worry, Maya, I'm just getting started. Alright, let's go over everything we know so far. Maya was wearing Lady Kira's robes and standing in the spring. The High Priest is thought to have been moving toward her, so I should look for sensations that stand in contradiction to this arrangement. I won't give up. I'm going to find a contradiction that will undermine the accusation against Maya. Ooh. Wait, what? Huh? Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, the tarps in the background are clearer. All the vision has been enhanced. He's facing south at this point. Oh, what the fuck? Okay. Yeah, that one's broken. But I need to see the full thing now with sight unblurred. Yes, the reading of the scriptures is the same. I guess he's nearsighted. Or was nearsighted. Now it's okay. Alrighty-o. That's the one. Now the question is... well, that's not really... I mean, that's not really the Springside Lantern, is it? Well, I guess we could say, hey, your interpretation is wrong. Anyway, this is the one sentence here that talks about a specific lantern, so let's go with this one.
Objection!
What could this possibly mean? That lantern clearly contradicts the insight. But this contradiction will overturn the entire case I've been building.
Are you all right, Mr. Wright? 1 minute you shout out, and in the next you fall silent.
Perhaps it is like the bellow of one who is barreling down a hill with no way of stopping. Is that not right, Prosecutor Sadmati?
No, he saw it too, though he's loath to admit it. Don't get cold feet now, Phoenix. Even if this overturns the entire case you've built so far, the only way is to keep moving forward, because that's where we'll find the truth. Sorry, but I'm not barreling down a hill. In fact, I'm in full control of everything with the indisputable contradiction I found.
Is that so?
The lantern behind the accused clearly... no, blatantly contradicts your insight.
Does it now?
One of the lanterns on the entrance side of the inner sanctum was broken. And if you watch what Abbot Inmi saw in his final moments, you will notice that the lantern behind the praying form of Miss Fey is broken. The lantern behind Lady Kira, however, is still intact. In short, we are seeing two different lanterns in this seance vision.
How could this be? And even if it were so, how would that contradict my insight?
Let me start by saying the claim I'm about to raise will overturn the case I've built thus far.
Will the defense please explain himself?
Based on the broken lantern, we can tell Maya and Abbot Inmi's positions, where the accused and the victim were standing.
But did you not just finish asserting that the accused was standing somewhere else?
I did, and I built my argument on that faulty premise. But thankfully, it has led us here, to the actual spot where Maya Fey was standing. Yeah, this would place Maya directly behind him in his final moments.
I must say, if the defense keeps changing its assertions in such a capricious manner, its credibility may come into question.
I'm willing to take that risk, Your Majesty, because I believe this will be the last time. I'd like to start by pointing out the actual spot where the accused was standing.
Very well. Show us where you now believe the accused was actually standing.
Based on the location of the broken lantern, where was Maya actually standing? Behind the victim.
Take that!
I wasn't thinking straight before, but now it's all falling into place. We know the victim had stepped into the spring. That means Maya Fey had to have been standing in the water as he approached. However, his memory, which has only now become clear, reveals that Miss Fey was standing by the side of the broken lantern. In other words, she was standing where she was supposed to be according to custom. Does that not bring us back to the very beginning? No, this is where things take a different turn, and I mean that literally. The victim had to have been moving toward the spring. That means that while he was moving, he had his back turned toward the accused. What's this? Do you mean to say the victim turned around during the rite? But such an image appears nowhere in the seance vision. Actually, it does appear. It's just that no one noticed until now.
No one noticed? How could no one have noticed something so big?
There was a moment when the scripture the victim was holding was all we could see. Thanks to that, none of us could tell that he was in fact turning around in that moment. Ugh!
Objection!
If it is as the defense asserts, then her benevolence's insights no longer make sense. How do you intend to explain that?
Objection!
I don't need to explain anything, because it's just as you said, Prosecutor Sadmati. Her benevolence's insights don't make any sense because they contain a huge error. Such insolence!
A huge error, you say? Do explain.
The huge error is the order of the rites. Oh. Huh. You know what? This is just a book written for tourists. It's not actual temple scripture. This probably got it wrong, and Rafa, who we have come to know is very ignorant to certain customs of her own country, probably just got the info from this. Hold on. Yeah, I think the order got it wrong. Okay, which chapter of this describes the priest circling the priestess? Huh. Okay. Actually, none of these really describe Abbot Inmi's movements. The High Priest reads scripture while a priestess dons the robes of Lady Kira, which have been purified with incense. Huh. That can't be the crime scene, could it? No, nothing about that makes sense. It can't be the wrong crime scene. After all, the lanterns are right there. That's proof enough. Okay, but if I take a step back and forget my assumption that the priest was stabbed by the statue, impaled by the statue, rather. If I forget that assumption and pretend I haven't figured it out, then it would make sense to say there was a third person on the scene. And this could be a way for Phoenix to kind of segue into discussing this rebel hunter who sent the message of warning to the priest a few days ago. Okay. Yeah, I think the order of the rites was correct. It began with the scripture reading. The crime scene is blatantly correct, because we know the statues and their orientations and everything, yeah. I want to try the number of people there. Yeah, I'm going for it. I've convinced myself. I believe this is what happened at the scene of the crime. The victim was reading a sutra when suddenly he sensed someone behind him. He immediately looked back to see someone dressed as Lady Kira standing there. Wishing to see who it was, he approached the robed figure. That's when he was stabbed. Well, during the approach, he was kind of raising his hands to shield himself, but that could be explained away as being, the rebel hunter he was so afraid of. He must have been living in fear of the rebel hunter. I believe. Okay. I think we're on a good track here.
This cannot be.
Oh, but it can, and it is. The insight stating the accused stabbed the victim is wrong. And that is the real truth lying behind this testimony of the dead.
Holkanka!
Are you suggesting that there was someone else at the scene of the crime?
Have I misunderstood the voice of the Matama yet again? This cannot be.
Oh. Guess we're done with this for now. Oh, that was a close one. But I managed to divine the true meaning behind the seance vision somehow. I should add these new facts to the court record. All right. Ooh. Your benevolence, please allow me to take it from here. I will overturn the brash accusations of this faithless, putrid-minded lawyer.
Yes, I shall place my trust in you.
Are you sure about this, Prosecutor Sanmari?
My work as an international prosecutor has taken me to courtrooms around the world. And in that time I have learned to perform last rites for souls and trials lacking a seance.
Yes, of course. Forgive my ludicrous inquiry.
Moreover, I have with me a forensic investigator from overseas. I will show you all the most magnificent last rites ever seen. I guess he really does think highly of Emma and her forensic expertise. I'm impressed that he's come to understand their value. Then again, he is an international prosecutor who's solved tough cases around the world. Time to hunker down, huh?
Now then, let us continue with today's proceedings. Could the defense please tell us who the third party dressed as Lady Kira was? Your new claim has negated the insights of the royal priestess, so I trust you have some evidence to support it, correct?
Yes, of course. This third party must have really wanted to kill the high priest. I might be able to identify who it was if I had evidence of their murderous intent.
Well, we're waiting, Mr. Wright.
The evidence that can reveal the identity of the third party is this. Oh man. Phoenix is just committing blasphemies left and right. Oh, brother. All right.
Take that!
3 days before the purification rite, the victim received a warning letter from an unidentified individual.
He did.
Whoever sent it clearly meant to threaten the high priest. The letter said, "Do not perform the rite." But the rite went on as scheduled. I believe that is why the high priest was murdered.
Who do you suppose sent that letter?
A person with something to hide. The rebel hunter disguised as Lady Khura herself.
Peace. I don't understand. I had heard the Lady Khura that has been in the news of late only hunted rebels. If so, why would she have killed the High Priest?
Excellent question. Maybe it would help to think of it this way. What if the High Priest had secretly been a rebel? The High Priest? He could possibly have been a rebel.
The High Priest, a devout follower of Khura'inism, a rebel. Do you even comprehend the blasphemy of which you speak? Well, do you?
I too found it hard to believe at first. But as I continued my investigation, it started to become more and more plausible.
Objection!
The third party was the rebel-hunting Lady Khura, and the High Priest was a rebel. Your mockery of Khura'inism, no, of the kingdom of Khura'in itself knows no bounds. Whoops. That shameless Polkunkin lawyer, he's making a mockery of our religion.
As a faithful Khura'inist, I take issue with these claims, and I am loath to admit them in today's proceedings.
I don't like where this is going. The defense's claims are but vile blasphemy tantamount to spitting on the Holy Mother. Is it really that big of a deal, Maya? Abbot Inri was a distinguished monk and very well respected too, so... Yeah? Please don't let this turn into an international incident. But fear not, good people of Khura'in. The rantings of this putrid-brained lawyer who seeks to sully the soul of the deceased shall come to no avail once I conclude these last rites. The prosecution's assertion that the accused killed the victim remains unchanged. But the victim was stabbed in his abdomen. How was that possible when he had his back turned toward Miss Fey? Someone else must have killed him.
Objection!
Are you sure about that? You may have invalidated the seance, but do not let it go to your putrid head. The karmic flow of this trial is, as yet, still in my hands. How can he be so confident? Something has occurred to me, you see. And your allegations of a third party are but a deluded fantasy. And I shall prove that by calling a new witness to the stand. An eyewitness who will deliver a definitive answer that will dispel the defense's doubts. An eyewitness?
Very well, let us call this eyewitness to the stand.
Oh, no way, really? Oh, okay, what? Alright. Really? Oh, I thought for sure this would be a Pare Zealot. If not him, then Emma, but really? It's him again.
Well now, he has to be the shaggiest witness I've ever laid eyes on. Please state your name and occupation.
Oh, this'll be good. Oh, yeah, no, that's so-and-so, whatchamacallit. Oh, brother. Oh, brother, come on, dude. Something's gotta give. Ah! Fine, okay, fine. God. No, you know what? I don't even care anymore. I'm just gonna end things here. Well, yeah, okay, so, the Divination Seance continues to be a very fun and very inventive system, and I quite like it a whole lot. It's really cool. Dude, I swear to you, before this game is out, we're gonna do a Divination Seance in the last moments of the late Queen. Mark my words. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if Maya channeled the Queen at some point. Have I said that yet? Have I theorized that yet? Because I remember thinking it last time too. Maybe I didn't say it. Oh, we're going places. So, what animal is he imitating anyway? Is it a dog? Is he like a barking dog? It's like he's doing shadow puppets, but with no shadow. Well, you know, I think I've said my piece, and I'm gonna leave it to future me to deal with trying to say this guy's name. This is not an ordeal I want to go through right now, so I'm Zephyr the Jester. This is more Spirit of Justice. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you next time. So until then, please take care.